Can you hear me still?
Yes. Not sure
Good,
what
because
happened.
we're gonna jump right into this because this episode was out actually last Friday due to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Really smart timing. It came out. It we were unaware that it was. What did I text you and tell you that it was like 2 a.m. in the
2
morning that it?
a.m.
Yeah, that it dropped. So yeah, and it happened to be an episode that it seems like, at least from my social channels, everybody universally loved. And it's probably due to
34,000
the end.
views and 34,000 votes have it at 9.7 out of 10.
Yeah, and it's probably due a lot to how it ended. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But
Yes.
real quick overview is basically we're dealing with the fallout of Dunk beating Aryan after the he lost his ish on Tansel, the puppeteer, and he is now sitting in a basically a dungeon, prison cell, whatever. And we see Egg come in his Targaryen robes,
Looked like he
little
aged
baby,
like 5 years putting those new threads on.
right? So still so adorable. He's Dunk is very obviously hurt. He feels like he's been played for the fool. Egg is in near tears, and one of the parts that I did enjoy that I saw a lot of people talk about is that in private he admonishes him. He gets on to him, he scolds him, and late in a couple scenes later, when Egg is back with Baelor and Dunk is in the room, and Baelor goes to criticize Egg, Dunk is very quick to jump in on Egg's behalf and then says this kid is a good squire. He's been nothing but a good squire. He's a
Yes.
good kid, good squire. So very paternal. They're both getting from each other this familial role that they both need, that they're both looking for. But we see Egg, and then we see Dunk get brought in front of Baelor, who basically kind of coaches him into, hey, something's got to be done. You struck
Yeah.
royalty, but let's kind of massage you over to this trial by combat thing. Like let's kind of do this because my nephew's kind of an idiot, and you're so much bigger, and I know you would have killed him probably in that. And
Yep.
when I texted you, is I said it was a good
Yes.
clip that you clipped because I was right. Egg does say, I was hoping he'd kill him.
Yep. That is dark, but I mean, we get it, but
We
yeah.
do hear later why,
Yes.
yes, why he does not have any warm thoughts towards that brother, at least. Yeah. So Dunk decides, hey, yeah, I'm gonna take the only lifesaver that's been thrown to me. I'm gonna do this trial by combat. And he is then brought out in front of I've and I think it's like Beesbury is there. It's basically Maelor, Makar, Arian. I forgot who else is there. I think like I can't remember the other guy who was.
Yeah.
But basically he's like, hey, yeah, I've agreed we're gonna do this trial by combat. And then they kind of also like, oh hey, we're also gonna lob this other charge against you. Darian says that you kidnapped Egg, and we all know that that's crap. And we find out later Darian was pretty much like, listen, it's kind of forced to, but I'm gonna take a
Yeah.
fall for you. But so Arian, realizing that there's no way he can beat Dunk one on one, lobs other people into this, which you can tell immediately that his father is very unhappy with him deciding to do this.
Yes. Yeah. He
The
obviously
trial by
agrees.
seven, sorry. Yes, the trial by
Oh, yes.
choosing the trial by seven. Yes, sorry.
He agrees that he has his right, but yeah, you can tell he's just like, what are we doing here? Because now you're just making it an even bigger thing and roping in even more people into your mess. And yes, even though it is his right, you see his dad is just like, dude, seriously? Like, come
Yeah,
on
because
now.
like now I know I've got to fight.
Yes.
One of your brothers is going to have to join us, so that automatically puts three in line for the throne at peril. Like plus, like now we're already kind of on the like the other royal family and the other lord houses don't look at us very well. We're here to regain our standing, and now we might have possibly have to kill some of them in
Yes.
defense of you, and everybody knows you're a jerk. Like it's just a big thing, and he's not happy about it. It's yeah, so not happy at all about this, but they decide to do this, and Arian is his goals. Well, like there's no way that Dunk by in the middle of the night can get enough people together to fight on his behalf, and I'll win by default.
Right.
But Lord Fossoway quickly finds Dunk, the younger one, not Stefan, but I'm blanking on Raymond
Yes.
Fossoway. It brings him back to the tent and says, hey, like Dunk fills him all in on this. It's like, hey, can you believe this? And Stefan is real quick to be like, hey, I look forward to beating Royal Butt and I'm going to be on your side. And it should have kind of given everybody kind of like the squint eye, anyways, because rarely on Game of Thrones do things work out that seamlessly and that well.
True. It's true. I was
But
happy, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, and if people watched last week's episode that we filmed, I did give the sides in this. So
Yes.
if you did watch it, you kind of knew that Stefan was not, that like maybe they were going to change the book, but there was a good
See, at
chance
that
that this,
scene, because you gave the teams, but you didn't say like who backstabs who. So when he
right.
did that, I'm like, oh, I guess they're changing it. We'll see what this Apple guy does. And to be fair, that man, he had that armor on. I mean, that orangish tint. Woof.
They pretty much everybody looked really good. And again,
Yes.
we'll get into, who the daddy looked like, in that episode. So, yeah. So Stefan says, hey, like, yeah, I'll fight on your side. We'll see if we can get other people. We get Egg coming into the tent with Darien, his brother, and Darien's like, listen, I'll take a fall. Like, I don't want to be in this anyways.
Just make it look real.
Yeah, I don't want to have it. Egg fills us in why he hates his brother Arian so much. He like once told him he was going to castrate him and marry him as a sister, which is crazy because they have a sister. I think they have like two.
And the Targaryens are weird like that. So
Little weird, right? He like killed his cat. I think he like threw him down the well. There's just a whole
yeah,
like Egg has Aemon or Aegon has reason to hate his brother, and so he's like, "Hey, we'll start. We'll try to put together as much as we can, and we'll help." Well, we don't know at that time that Aegon's really going to kind of take it upon himself to try to find Dunk help because at that moment we
right.
think, okay, at least he's got Stefan. And I mean, even if you didn't know Lionel Baratheon was going to help him, you kind of had a feeling because they had been, buddies
Of all the
throughout the
characters that they had shown so far, he was the most obvious one.
right. Because yeah, he's like the tug of war and him calling him into they had like this connection. Great. So now you know that at least he's got Dunk, he's got a Fossaway, and he's got Baratheon. And they show up, everybody shows up to the little tournament thing because he's got to get this all done by the morning. And he's like, I'm still down a person. And then that's when Stefan Fossaway walks in and says, hey, you don't need just a person, you need two. Arian, like, he promised me some land. He's gonna make me a lord. Like, how do I not turn this down? Like, you ain't got no money. This man's got money. I can get
Right.
favors from this guy. So I'm gonna turncoat and
It wouldn't have hurt so bad if he
quickly,
hadn't made that rousing speech the night before.
right? Which it just makes it that much. I mean, that's why it's such a gut punch when he does
Right.
immediately turns on him. Which then Raymond Fossaway, without blinking, is that man steps up immediately and says, "Knight me.
Yep.
I'll take his place. I doesn't matter. I'll take his place. I'll do it." Which is he's a real one for that.
Yes. Like
Yes,
zero hesitation. And I
zero.
mean, like good for him because again, sticking up for him isn't just like, yeah, I'm on your side. It's like, no, you are like looking death in the face at this point,
Right.
especially knowing who's on the other side. Because obviously, uh,
Got three
Arian,
King's guards.
yeah, three King's guards, like that by itself is no joke. So,
Right.
like that's a dangerous game he's playing and zero hesitation. Props to him.
Right. And he's like, "Knight me," but we kind of get a flashback where Dunk probably wasn't properly knighted by
Yes,
Arlen, and so he doesn't know what to say. He kind of freezes for a moment. Lionel Baratheon takes over and knights him, so that way Raymond Fossway can do it.
that
The
was a
one guy
scene
who
too, just knighting
it was
him. I was like,
great,
whew.
it was great. The way that was shot, him up and then, him down
Yes,
looking up. It just this episode, if you don't jump in for any other episode, jump in for this one. Like
for
you'll
sure.
figure out the rest of them. It doesn't get take you long to catch up. So now we have Raymond Fossoway, and we have Lionel Baratheon, and we have Riesling, the
Yes,
one-eyed pirate knight
yes,
that Egg
yes.
had come across earlier. He's just crazy, and he's looking forward to just killing anybody.
Yep.
It seems like we have the knight who was also had the horse fall on him and was his leg was broken, who is riding Aryen's horse because his horse was promised
Oh
to
yeah.
him for stabbing his other one. So he's actually got Aryen's horse at this. I can't remember what his exact last name is though. I feel like it's like Hardway. Who knows? I can't remember what it
Yeah.
was. But you got broken leg guy, Lionel Baratheon, uh, the the one eyed pirate. What is it? You got five or
You
four,
got five.
six. You got
You got
six.
five plus Dunk is six.
Right, plus Dunk is six. And he makes a rousing speech to the crowd. Please, somebody step up. Like this is, please, just somebody take. I was defending an innocent person. Please, somebody. You think it's culminating to this grand, and some guy stands up and lets out a huge fart. Everybody
Yeah.
laughs at him, and you're like, oh boy, this is not going so great for him. And that's when the gates open, the magical aura shot of the
Yes.
season, and you start to hear some familiar
Oh,
score music playing. And I can't tell you how many times I watched that scene, and each time I got goosebumps from it. It was amazing. They
yes.
waited for the right moment to use that music. I'm so glad that they never used it I'm so glad that they never used it for the title. I'm glad they farted it off at the beginning. I'm glad they never used it since, because when they used that music and that time, perfect,
It
magical.
was phenomenal the way it was shot, like you said, like the camera work was great, the timing, the build
And
up.
we didn't even say who came through the gate.
Oh yes.
Baelor Targaryen.
Yes. Comes through the gate, takes the helmet off, says, I will take Sir Duncan's side. Everybody stands up, the prostitutes are clapping. It just it hits. If this is your first Game of Thrones experience, it was probably still cool. But that was for the fans that have been here for the other two series, because that was a topic of discussion of why we didn't get the opening song, because you
Right,
had it in both shows. And then they said because the tone is different. So even though
right.
you miss it, you're like, okay. But the fact that they kept this little secret from us, they decided we're still going to use it. We're just not going to tell you about it. The absolute best time, 10 out of 10, no notes, absolute cinema. Like,
Absolute
oh,
cinema. Absolute cinema. And Makar obviously is very upset and is like, brother, what are you doing? Because not only now is a Targaryen taking, like obvious, it's a real departure when the heir to the throne is fighting on some no-name side.
right.
Not only is he taking a no-name side, it pretty much takes out almost half of the other team because the Kingsguard cannot attack Baelor. So
Mm,
he pretty much neutralizes three of their fighting force already because they can't. They can't go after him. So all Baylor ever has to do is just like ride in front of somebody at any given
right.
time, and they have to pull off because they can't attack. They're the Kingsguard. He's the heir to the throne. There's three people already taken off the chessboard as far as play.
Three of the most
So
dangerous people, too.
right. So you have a Targaryen taking a no-name side. You have now it's, oh, you severely, because again, my sons probably aren't going to attack you because they'll be known as Kingslayers, which before Jaime Lannister comes around is still a pretty big a no-no, at this
Yes.
time. It's you don't slay the king. And he's not the king, but he is the heir. That is the next one in line. It's the
Yep.
hand of the king. He's going to be on the throne. And he says, basically, Dunk did what a knight is supposed to do. He stood up for the innocent.
Yes.
And that's where my place is at now. And that's how the episode ends. And it is chef's kiss. It was perfection. That music, I'm telling you, that music hit like adrenaline. I was ready
Yeah.
to run through a wall.
It was so good. And again, like the fact that we came to terms with the fact that we weren't getting it and we accepted that this show was going to be different. It's about the smaller people for the most part. So we weren't like we missed it, but we were okay with it. So it was like a nice little Christmas gift. It was the Christmas gift that they bring out after you've opened all your other gifts. And it was
Yes,
just so good. Like, yeah, uh, again, it's a 9.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Usually an episode premieres and it's got those high ratings, but that's off like 500 to 1,000
sure.
reviews. This is 34,000 reviews. It is hanging at a 9.7, which is insane. I mean, it's justifiable, but it's insane that the third series has an episode ranking higher than most, if not all, other episodes. I don't know,
It's the
and a lot of
highest.
people have said that it is the best episode in the Game of Thrones world. I don't know if I agree, and if you ask me which
Right,
one's better, I couldn't tell you. I
right.
just, with all of the content that we've gotten, it's like hard for me to say it's the best, but I would put it top five, probably top three.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, like, because like when people think about that, a lot of people have recency bias and they tend to
For
forget
sure.
like Battle of the Bastards, Hard Home. Like
Yeah.
those were like iconic episodes, that we lived through. Even the Red Wedding. I mean, like, as terrible of his experience it was, for it to still just be cinematic in what we were watching. And even the episode where Arya takes out the entire Frey family. Like, there are great episodes in Game of Thrones. Even with House of Dragon, you have the episode where I cannot it's
With
not
the
Rhaenyra
twins,
because
that was
that's
a good one.
yeah. The where the Rhaenys busts out of the
Oh,
floor on
RIP to the
Meleys.
queen that never was. That just made me sad
Right.
again.
Well, when she comes out of that and she gets, I mean, again, she should have taken the kid out.
Yeah.
But like these are some great episodes. So I'm with you. Like, don't know if I'm like, maybe it's like I said, like recency bias as far as like, is it the best ever? I don't know. I do think because of that score hitting at the right moment, and like you said, I think most people, I don't even want to say most people have forgotten the score because I don't want, I can't speak for everybody, but I know, I just assumed like we'd never hear it, or it would have it
Yep.
its own one that it like kind of sounded like it, but not. But I mean, it was didn't really think about it because each episode would just start and it was just such great storytelling that you really
Yeah.
didn't think about like why aren't they playing the music? And for them to use the music at the right time at an impactful moment, I think that's why everybody's like, this scene was great. Like this
Yes.
episode was crazy. And maybe it was just nice to see a Targaryen stepping up and doing the right thing.
Honestly, so we've got two episodes left,
Right.
and I'm thinking they're going to do what they have done a very good job of doing that other shows seem to get wrong, of all, not having everything come to a head in the season finale, but rather have your big event in the episode before and then deal with the fallout in the finale because they've been dragging this on and I want to believe that they get right to it, but I know there are some frames, some stills that got released and there are flashbacks that there's
Okay.
in this
Yes.
upcoming episode. So I could be completely wrong and maybe the whole episode is a flashback, which like I have no doubt it'll be good, but it's just like, come on, dude. Like
Yeah,
let's
like after
let's
that,
get
like
to it. Yeah, exactly.
let's get to the meat of this. I'm not gonna ruin it for you or people who haven't seen it, but there is something pretty major coming up. So I wonder, yeah, like how much of the fighting we will see before this thing happens, and then clearly dealing with the fallout of it. And it's crazy because I don't think it has even been said that they've picked up a season two or that there's
I
been a
don't know if
season
it's
two of
been picked up, but I think HBO, like, it hasn't
it
been
would be
officially
crazy.
greenlit, but I think HBO has pretty much told them, like, you're getting, I think they said, I read something that said they're getting 3 seasons or 4 seasons, maybe. And, like, I think HBO is kind of just like, hey, you've proved your value, you're good to go. But I don't think the official
Right. Which is, yeah,
writing has been said yet. But I think at this
right.
point, like, go ahead, do what you want to do.
Yeah, especially yeah, when the ratings came out for this one and yeah, and the rankings, I think that was pretty much a given. And again, the creator has come out and said, or not the creator, because George R. R. Martin's a creator, but the guy who's directed this has said, I'd love to do 4 or 5 years of Egg as a little kid, 4 or 5 years as him a young prince, and then 4 or 5 years as him as king, which like to me, it's like, go ahead and give it to him. The problem we have with that is much like the rest of George R. R. Martin's books, is he still has more Dunk and Egg stories to tell, and he has not written these books as well.
I think he's done. I just, as someone who hasn't read the books because I'm a notoriously slow reader, so I'm still in my other series, this man, I mean, respect to the world he's created, but come on, dude. And I'm not even
Right.
saying I'm rushing you because at this point, it's not rushing you.
No,
Like,
it's just work on something.
it's 2026, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Right. He was supposed to have come out with, I believe it's called The Winds of Winter, which was the next book in the Game of Thrones Ice and Fire series, which is like I think there's 5 books out already, and he's The Winds of Winter was going to be next, and then there was like 1 or 2 of them after that. He had promised back into that Winds of Winter was going to be released in 2011. So we're 15 years past that. I think it was 2011 that he said. It could even be
Got
longer
married
than
and had a
that.
whole
But
child since then.
right. So yeah, like well yeah, like not only have yeah, not only did my kid were my kids, you know, 6, now they're in college, like
Like,
since he promised the
that's
book.
at that point, I get that it's your baby, but I'm not saying hand it off to someone, but just lock yourself in a room and don't leave until you finish it. Like,
From my
I don't
understanding,
know.
he does have 2 other writers that have like all the information and um will be like when and if something ever happens to him will be like finishing what he had, like so it isn't just it's gonna but to me it's like okay, well why don't you just go ahead and turn it over to them now and do this,
Right.
because I don't whereas I would love to see 15 seasons of Dunk and Egg like this guy wants to do. We've seen what happens when they run out of material.
Yes.
So unless George R. R. Martin is very, very involved with the script writing and everything going on for these other seasons that they would like to do, not saying that they're going to, but would like to do, it's just he's going to end up upset again, like he was with the Game of Thrones creators.
You also run the
Um,
risk of, and I know Game of Thrones has had a good track record with their shows keeping the actors for the most part. I know they lost a couple actors here or there that they had to replace, but the two main characters being Dunk and Egg are so good together. If one of them chooses to focus on other things, you have to replace them. And no matter how good their replacement is, it won't be as good. And again, I'm not saying don't do more seasons because of that, but the longer you stretch it out, the greater the risk of main characters going their separate way happen. Like that is
well,
a bigger risk.
or even just aging out of what age you would want to use them. I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
that with Stranger Things when, they came, for the last season, they started out as children, as 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, and they ended the series at playing 16-year-olds, but they were 30, like you don't do that, like
Yeah.
it's these shows that are coming out every 3 years. It's just, that's not you're losing
Suddenly
people
Egg's
because
gonna
there's
have a
so
deep
much other
voice.
stuff to watch. Hmm?
I said suddenly Egg's gonna have a deep voice when you're trying to have scenes with him.
Right?
Like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but just if I don't know why, but what he says when he says, "Is it weird that my stones have black hair?" And he says, "It's weird that you're telling
It's
me."
weird that you're telling me. That's what I'm saying. Like you just them two together is so good. It just
So good.
I love it so much. And it's the age difference in the show and the height difference. And again, the funniest part was that when Egg walked into that prison cell with his Targaryen threads on, I legit was like, yo, this kid is like a man now. And obviously he wasn't. Like he looked
Right.
5 years older just because he wasn't dressed like a stable boy.
Until he was sitting in the corner and his big ass eyes, and they were
Yes.
like, and he was crying. And I
Yes.
was like, Dunk,
That one hurt.
you better get over it. This child is hurting right
Yes.
now. You better get your past your feelings and just tell him he's okay. And
Hmm.
everything's he's like, he's about to feel like he's about to lose his best friend. And yeah, so that was, yeah. So overall, I think everybody, like I said, social media seemed to absolutely love the episode. They super love, I believe, the actor who plays Baylor. His name is Birdie. I think his first name is Birdie. Um,
Yes. Bertie Carvel.
yes, they are absolutely, at least as far as the from the female perspective that I see online, they are very much enjoying uh Sir Baelor and him showing up in his son's armor and doing the right thing, which again in Game of Thrones is very rare to see, especially out of a Targaryen.
For sure. And I mean, I think I had seen some chatter online about the series, but this episode, it was everywhere. Like, I don't know if people just didn't have a lot to say previously, because I saw stuff here and there, but I mean,
Right.
that episode dropped at 2 a.m. and immediately I started seeing something. At first, when I started seeing things, I thought people were just making predictions. And then I
Mm-hmm.
thought, oh, maybe some influencers saw it early. And then you texted me and I was like, oh no, it's out. And all of that chatter I'm seeing is it's trending. Everyone's talking about it, which was good to see because it's a spin-off and spin-offs don't always get the traction. But I mean, this episode,
This did
and
it for
if you,
people.
yeah, this was great. This was great.
I thought it was amazing because like I said, it dropped early in the morning. I had not gotten I hadn't scrolled through anything, so I hadn't seen that it was out. And I think I was just kind of scrolling through my apps on the TV, just trying to find something to watch while I was eating breakfast that morning. And I was like, hold up, it's already says I was like, and that's when I texted you. I was like,
The fact
did
that
you
New
know this is out
Rockstars
already?
already had a breakdown, that is
Yes. Okay.
insane.
Yeah. That was like, I was like, when I got the notification, it was like breakdown for episode 4. I was like, okay, well, maybe they just saw it earlier, and they're just trying to get ahead of it because of everything else that's going on this week. It's a
Yeah.
busy weekend. And sure enough, got on HBO and was like, holy shit. It's like, we need to hurry up and
We
watch
were
this.
way behind.
Yeah. So it was, and I confess, like, I did my best to not try to spoil Will on anything, but I was like, all I just told him was like that score hits like
That was funny. And that was a valid
I didn't want to tell you the
reaction.
moment it was like I didn't want you to be like anticipating it, but like just knowing that like man that like I said it was like adrenaline. I was ready to run through a wall. Like let's go. It's the whole sport. Let's go.
Yes. And honestly, I loved your reaction because you didn't spoil it, but that was a genuine reaction. Like that's how I would have responded if I had seen it first because it's that impactful that like you don't have a choice but to react that way.
Yeah, I texted you like inject that scene or like inject that like or no, I put all the gifts, didn't I? I said
Yes.
that they that score hit like cocaine, and it was just like the gifts of just like
Yes.
Lord, like it's amazing, and I was like, I can't wait for him to experience it himself because it's just it's just one of those things where you don't want to see a clip of it online before you see the episode. Like you
Right.
want to be able to understand why it hits like cocaine when you get to that scene because you are like man like we are running out of time, we're getting to the end of this episode, why are like he's even though I know he's not going to lose this, like even though I know it's just what are we doing, what is
Yes.
like why is this taking so long, and not expecting like it to be such a like huge moment when when the gates open and he rides out. They did it perfectly. It's shot perfectly. It sounds perfect. It has the impact that it's going for, and it's like yeah, it's just a great episode to watch.
Yeah.
So big fan of it.
Oh yeah. Like absolutely loved it. You didn't get any action per se, and that didn't matter because, like, again, I know we've talked about I don't need beheadings and explosions every 30 seconds, but sometimes it's nice to see it. This had none of that, and I don't think it did. Yeah, this had none of that, and still, I absolutely loved it, and the masses felt the same way, which proves you don't need Michael Bay explosions every 30 seconds to tell a good story.
No.
Like the most action we got was Baratheon taking his sword out to knight somebody. That was the most action we got,
Yep.
and 9.7 out of 10.
Right. It's insane because it goes to show you too that his writing, because they have pulled this straight from, like, everything is pulled straight from these novels, that it is definitely his writing. Is it takes these small throwaway short stories and it becomes everybody's favorite episode, like, of all
Yeah,
time, of everything that's ever been put out about Game of Thrones. It's crazy to think
right.
of, but that's how good it was. It's how good of, like, that's how and it's amazing that these episodes are so short and compact and everything they've been cramming in to make everybody, like, instantly love these two characters, and, like, your heart is breaking for Dunk, like, oh, like, and panicking, and please let him put together this team. And that's the reason I know that they show that there's going to be flashbacks for next episode, but it before I'm like, oh, it's going to be a whole throwaway episode. I look at how much they've packed into these 30-40 minute episodes, and I'm like, who knows how much they'll have in it, and maybe they'll get right to the, because
Yeah.
think about everything that happened in this past episode. Think about him having the conversation with Egg in the jail, him having the conversation with Baelor, him in front of everybody pleading the case, him with the Fossoways, him with Egg and Darien, him with, I mean, like, there was a lot that happened.
No wasted time in the episode, not a wasted
None.
second, because they couldn't afford to, because these are shorter episodes. But it didn't
Right.
feel rushed.
Nope.
It felt perfect. Pacing,
Perfect.
everything. You told a great story in what, 20 less minutes, 25 less minutes than your traditional Game of Thrones episodes. They didn't waste a single
Right.
frame of that episode.
And yet it still gave you the panic of, sunrise is coming, you need to get this
Yeah,
team together. Not like, hurry up with these conversations, I don't care about these conversations, get your team together. It was
the
because of
suspense.
every, yes, like him talking to people and it just kind of falling apart, and the having to night, and him, even with his speech in front of the crowd. I mean, it just they do so good in getting everything they need to in this short of episode. So I do have hope that it's not a complete flashback episode, but
Yeah.
is that your, what, how do you feel like it's going to be?
I I'm torn because they've done a good job, like I said, of having the peak be the second to last episode of this season and then the fallout in the
Right.
final episode. But at the same time, with this show, they've, and I don't mean this negatively, been dragging things out. So if they decided to keep with that trend, I could very well see them making it a full flashback episode and then ending with like 5 minutes of everyone lining up and then cutting to
Because the
black.
thing is, will they still have a tournament?
Well, that was a
Is
question
this,
I had. I was wondering
yeah,
that too, because like, did this just take over the jousting? Like, we took a vote and we decided this is more entertaining, so we're gonna do this instead.
yeah, honestly, I honestly don't know the answer to that question. I don't know. Like, I haven't been, I mean, I know certain things that happen towards the end of this, but I don't know if there's,
How do you go back
because
to
we
that?
might
Because
get a
people are
fight.
gonna die, and it's like you the next day be like, oh, okay, well, these knights were supposed to fight, but that one died, or even if like it's just I don't know. I don't think mentally you go back to jousting after a trial by seven that involves the Targaryens can happen. Like, I feel like if I witnessed the trial by seven, I'd start packing my stuff up. Like, where are you going? The jousting's tomorrow. Like, oh no, I'm good. Like, this was the finale.
It's like, oh, we've already
I'm
seen
going
the
back to
Super
the
Bowl. I'm not going to
farm.
watch the flag. I'm not going to watch the flag football game.
Right. Like, the Pro Bowl
Yes,
after the Super Bowl.
you do make a good point. It's maybe they don't. I mean, I again, I don't want to spoil anything, but I can see them calling a halt to the games
Oh
due
yeah.
to circumstances. So yeah, so yeah, maybe there's. But I feel like they got to do something to kind of give us hope that there's going to be a second season.
I just, like you said, even though it hasn't been officially greenlit, I am, I would be baffled. Like if it was Netflix, I'd be like, yeah, they're going to cancel it because Netflix is notorious
Sure.
for canceling good shows. But I just can't see it. But I mean, you're right. Like I don't think it's been officially said that you're getting a second season.
But like I said, like you also said, is that at this point maybe they don't even have to wait to hear. Like maybe that's just a given. Maybe that's
Right.
just like, of course they're gonna
You
do a
haven't
second
let us
season.
down
Like
yet.
that's yeah, that's crazy. Like what are you talking about? So yeah, hopefully that they move. Yeah. So hey, we're only looking and I don't think they're going to extend the times of these episodes. These last two, I think
Let
they're
me
all going to be still the 30-minute mark, maybe.
So in the name of the mother is 37 minutes versus
Okay.
34. And then episode six, which is episode six, wow, is 31 minutes.
Yeah, they're gonna move things along quick then, because that's
Wow.
that they don't even go 31 minutes because of the credits, so it's going to be even shorter than that. So good on them
That's
for yeah, that's
okay.
crazy, but I'm ready for it. Just that
Yeah.
they're gonna be clicking along. Yeah.
Oof.
So we know we got this one out late, but hey, it was because the weird timing. We'll still be
Yes.
back on track with the next episode should be out Tuesday or if not or Wednesday at the latest. And we're very excited to see what happens here in the next couple episodes because it has
Yes.
been, I mean, it's man, 9.7 when you still have two more episodes to go, man. It's like you can either keep going and it gets to get better and better, or I mean, you
That
might have
is
that
a
little
little scary. Like you hit a 9.7 and have two episodes left. Like that is
right.
like I'm not saying, go for a low bar, but
Keep
9.7 and you have two
expectations
more.
kind of tempered maybe for this next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Well, all right, so we're gonna end that in here, and we will then see you guys next week after episode 5. Bye.
Yes.